imagination is one of our most powerful skills as human beings, and imagination leads to vision. Vision leads to a project. Massimiliano is a composer too, he's an Italian composer, he will introduce himself later. Arnold is also a composer, he's a German one, and we collaborate together since many years now. The album you listened in the background was my first album, where Massimiliano collaborated in one song and Arnold in the whole album. Actually, we met the first time thanks to football, not to music. We played a football match together, and then we said, oh, you're a musician, oh, you too. When you start with your first album, sometimes you have so much to say. Sometimes you say too much.
Yes.
So the album he released, I thought it was a great album. It was called the Inside Lab, something like that. Producing is not teaching at all, it's learning. It's learning together with the artist. It means to know about the strengths and the weaknesses of the artist from an external point of view. When you know the strengths and the weaknesses of an artist, what do you focus on? On the weaknesses. The work was like the work of a sculptor, to cut what's not necessary, in the sense that less is more. And welcome. Actually, that first album is out of the market. We took it away because we think that this is the evolution of that work. You will listen to the balance that has now this album. Probably we will be back here in Berlin to represent it live, but it was nice first to have a feedback from you, just from a listening session in this beautiful place. Yeah, I choose this place because of the vermouth, but because of the sound system. Mankind in the past had three great revolutions. When we mastered the fire, everything changed. When we invented the wheel, and when we invented the synthesizers. Now we are going to face two great revolutions. We are going to master intelligence. Everybody's talking about artificial intelligence, AI. Are you scared about that? Actually, I'm not scared about AI.
I'm angry.
As a composer or musician, I think that we love the process of composing. I think that we wouldn't love to just press a button and have a new song, because we would miss the process of getting the inspiration, making and suffering for composing and details. I'm not scared of it. I'm scared when the governments use that, but not when musicians use that. Yeah. We all talk about one of the great revolutions, which is mastering the intelligence, but we don't talk about the other great revolution, which is synthetic biology, and it's mastering life. Massimiliano will explain what means molecular in his artistic vision and concept. I will get the microphone back just for saying thanks again after that. Massimiliano, thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Massimiliano. I'm really happy to be here with you to present Molecular, the debut album of my alter ego MMproject. Molecular was born from the desire to create a modern and original sound with different styles. So within a minimalist structure, you can hear elements of rock, jazz and electronic music. There are also some classical influences, which are an important point of reference for me. And the album contains 8 instrumental tracks with an electroacoustic sound and with free open form. Molecular is also my personal vision of the world we live in, a chaotic world made up of billions of molecules in constant and controlled motion. So my need is to reorganize them into a dimension of musical order. Thank you for being here. Enjoy. Thank you.
Want to say that I'm so proud to have him here because I estimate him a lot. And so thanks for coming, Arnold.
Thanks for inviting me, Patrick.
Yeah, musician as well as Massimiliano and Patrick, and I started to work as a piano player. And then I came to electronic music when I moved to Berlin in the late 90s, where I was born and raised, and that was Black Forest. So I'm here since the late 90s, where you hear only this kind of medium all the way around. In every club and every bar, there was no CD and no MP3 at all, no USB sticks at all. I started to produce music also for in a club context, like with 4-to-the-floor beats and broken beats, experimental drum and bass and all that stuff. I went the first time to mastering sessions. So what is a mastering? The mastering process is after the music is mixed, after the music has been recorded, after the music has been composed, after the concept transition from one medium to the other, and from the digital side to the side where it's been heard by the listeners for maybe vinyl, CDs and so on. So I went to a mastering engineer, that's a sound engineer that gets the very last touch on music. So they started to work on this in a big studio. The mastering studios look a little bit like this. They're not just recording studios with the big desks, they have big boxes, very, very much attention made to acoustic environment, and very some small but very expensive gear. So the sound engineer started working on my track, and after a couple of minutes I thought, oh, my track's sounding quite nice, okay, because due to this very expensive boxes and so on. And after a couple of minutes, I guess it was 20 minutes, he did the first bypass of everything and gave me a listen to my track, and it sounded really, really horrible. So I had the first time, because it was my very first track, and I made a couple of mistakes, which I had to do to proceed in my career. But to know that there is somebody who can take a look at your art, who understands your art, he knows what to do exactly to have the final touch, was a real big moment for me. So I kept in touch with this person who is still a big friend and partner of mine, in which I work very much projects on. Calyx Mastering, it's a big mastering studio here in Berlin, where I'm working now since 8 years again. I was, in the meantime, somewhere else. And I'm also, parallel to my career as a mastering engineer, I work also as a musician. I started to play piano, as I've told already, and returned to the piano 10 years ago, roundabout, and made concerts where I met sometime a couple of years ago, Patrick, and we had to spend a nice evening at the place here in the near Silent Green. So, okay, the transition from this music, from the music that Massimiliano made and sent me, were like, of course, digital wave files. I had to do the last touch, the last polishment, and I try to, like I always do with the clients or artists that came to me, I don't want to put every music in a kind of scheme, a kind of shape. I want to find out what is the intention behind the music and only try to put it on a stage. Maybe correct something if the artist does mistake, like I did back in the days, and be a consultant in a way, and but to let the music flow. In this case, the music has a wide range, like a universe, a big bunch of ideas and sounds, from small piano pieces, very calm piano pieces, up to large drums and big halls of drone distorted things. It's like a journey. I wanted to keep that journey and only did some adjustments here and there and try to let the sound evolve. It was a little bit difficult because I did some different settings on different songs, but the transitions from one song to the other, like you maybe hear, are very, very long. It's like orchestral composition. Like the piano goes to another song, like not, okay, I can do a cut here, but it goes a very long time. So this was a big challenge and it made a lot of fun. The last step of putting digital music to analog music is cutting all the stuff onto a doublet, which then will be shipped into a pressing plant where the vinyl will be made. And this is a real, in Germany you call neuralgic point. All music that has been made over months and years and produced goes through a very, very small diamond stylus that maybe scratches a track in a copper plate. This is copper, this is not vinyl, which is another material. And the stylus has to scratch. If you imagine the music goes from 20 Hertz to 20 kilohertz, that means sometimes 20,000 times in a second left to right. So you have to be very precisely with this very, very tiny diamond. And this also was a very big challenge because the music from Massimiliano changes as very much because it's like a symphony with different movements. You will hear it. If you like, you can touch it and you can see it now. This is not that something hectic. Like what I do day to day in the business, because we're talking about not the digital thing, not the thing that has been replaced by some artificial intelligence. We're still talking about copper, about lacquer, about heatings of stylus, of oil, of changing the plates, and a really technique that has had his peak in technical innovation at around 1980. There is not much newer technical innovation. Vinyl is still around. We still have a big bars coming up, and a lot of people had told you vinyl will be replaced by CD, replaced by whatever, and I will take my last words. Don't be shy or sad because somebody came, so we have AI, we have something here, we have something there. The music is going on, the process of creation is something going on. Don't be afraid of what comes new, because some things stay, like it is vinyl here. A big turn from my universe to the universe from Patrick. So I'm really happy to be here. Once again, thank you all for coming.
Thank you, Arnold. A lot of work, starting, as I told you, from imagination to the listening session. We just relax. Do you have a drink, all of you? Okay, we can start.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
First, the most important thing, I suggest you to try the vermouth here. It's so good.
The most important thing.
Okay, we can cut this part when we edit the video.